It's the Fellowship of the Geek Show, a weekly podcast about comics, the comic book industry, and other geek pop culture. Music courtesy of Manny the Martyr. And now, on with the show!
Hey there, everybody. It's the Fellowship of the Geeks podcast. My name is Thomas Chick, and joining me for this episode is Mike Marlowe.
Hey, gang.
Les Webster.
Hello, all.
And Liz Newman.
Hello, everybody.
How are you guys doing?
Groovy.
Yeah.
Pretty good, thanks.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. Yeah. Hope everybody out there is doing okay. So, what's been going on in your corner of the galaxy?
Here it comes.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. I haven't really done a lot. We've, just had a holiday and everything else too, so I've kind of been lazy. And then I got too wrapped up into that game I was telling you guys about, which I'm not going to get into right now. So you're welcome.
Which game is that, Lil?
Yeah. I just call it my joy suck right now. Because that's all it's doing.
The game is not fun. You're doing it wrong. Play a different game.
Yeah.
That's
Play
the
differently.
deal. Or stop.
Yeah.
The deal is it's supposed to be fun.
It's supposed to be. Yep.
If you're not having fun, screw it.
I said I'll go back to my Plants vs. Zombies where nobody can talk to me or have me join your clan or your alliance. I don't want any of it. I just want to build stuff and kill things. So, and it's sad because I almost played the mom card the other day and called James and was like, "You got to play this game with me." They're kicking your mom's ass. But I didn't. I was good. I just shut it off.
Good. Don't be dragging him into that. If you're not having fun, dragging him into it is not going to make it more fun.
Right. But it could be fun. That's what's pissing me off about the whole thing. I'm too nice when I shouldn't be, so.
Wow, a game with toxic players. Who would have thunk?
Who would have thought, right?
Shocking.
I mean, and I understand the whole concept of someone's got to win and someone's got to lose, and that's cool, but you don't have to make it suck, you know?
I used to watch streamers on Twitch who would play DayZ. This is a while back, and the thing that really pissed me off that they would encounter is when they first spawn in, and the thing is you spawn in, and for those who don't know what DayZ is, it's a open world game where it's kind of like, I don't want to say post-apocalyptic, but there's like nobody around except for maybe some zombies, depending on where you're at.
That sounds
and all
pretty
that.
post-apocalyptic to me.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I know. Anyway, but there are players who what they do is they gear up, and then they go back to spawn points and literally kill freshies. That's what they do for fun. Someone fresh spawns in. They take a pot shot, kill the person, and then that person has to spawn back in. I'm like, where's the freaking joy in that?
Yeah. Well, and what kind of fucking game strategy is that, you know? Oh,
Easy.
I'm going to get the most points
It's
by
easy, right.
cheating,
Yeah.
basically,
Uh-huh.
you know?
It's an exploit.
Yeah, it's
Straight
just.
up.
Well, I mean, it's literally open. So I mean, there's not from what I've seen, there's not any kind of points or anything. It's depending on how the server is set up, because there's some that have different things, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But also rules. But there's some that are like it could be PvE, player versus environment, which if I would play this game, that would probably be what I would do. I don't want to do PvP because, and even PvE, if you encounter somebody, you've got to be on your guard.
Yeah.
Because they could be friendly, or they could just play around with you for a little bit and then take you out and take whatever you have, which, if you're a first spawn, you don't have anything. So there's nothing for them to gain other than, oh, I killed a guy, ain't I cool?
Yeah.
Right.
I can
You're
be a
looking for
dick.
body count,
Yeah.
which is kind of psychotic, really.
It is. And it's the main thing that kills game servers. After a while, like the one that I'm on, this one group is going to kill the server because nobody wants to play on it, And it sucks because there's 3 seasons in this game. I can't even change servers until season 2. So I'm stuck with this for a couple weeks of bullshit, It's like who wants to play with that, And it's not even playing. I've become I hate saying it that way. I've become the plaything. I'm what they play with. I'm the target, and I don't like that.
The patsy.
Yeah. I don't like that. And I'm not saying everybody should all kiss and make up, blah, blah. It is a war game. But there's a difference when war should be strategy, not just pick people off at will, because you don't like who they are. I mean, that...
Well, I mean, some people would say that is strategy. It's bullshit strategy, but...
It's a bullshit strategy. I say live and let live, and then at the end of the season, who's the strongest takes it. Not, kill everybody off and make them leave so you win
that's
because
how you get to be
you're
the
the only ones
strongest, right?
there, Yeah, it is, but...
I mean, it's a mind game for sure, but more so than it's supposed to be. But
it'd be different if this was a power that everybody could be included in, I guess. But just because of where you live in the world, you're excluded. And that sucks. There's no way to let me build up higher and I can play on your team. There's nothing, I hate to say it right now, but if you're not North Korean, you're dead. They don't care, So it's like, okay, I'll fucking, deplete everything I have and make you lose resources for even trying to play with me. So, fuck you.
It's a way to go.
It is, yeah. But yeah, no, I've just not done a lot. I haven't really watched a lot either. So, that's me.
Boring.
Boring.
Okay, Mikey?
Yeah, I don't feel bad. I don't have a whole lot either. This week has been just sort of existing.
Yeah.
I'm still kind of getting. I think I'm finally at the point where I'm not coughing all the time, which doesn't mean that my throat doesn't hurt if I talk too much. So we'll see how tonight goes. But
that's okay. Liz is here.
Yeah.
I don't have to talk a lot. It's great. I mean, I was watching some Red versus Blue the other day, but I don't know. That's not. I've talked about that. Some random ass YouTube videos. Nothing exciting. Pretty boring, really. I guess the scariest thing I had to deal with this last week was, I have a 15-year-old,
That's pretty scary.
I could stop there and everybody would understand. But oh no, I'm going to go into some detail. So the way, I mean, we're all mostly of an age on this show. So the deal is the way they do driver's ed is a little different than it was back then. There has to be, instead of doing so much like written down testing, part of what we have to do is we have to log practice time. So we have to write down. There's a list. I've got this piece of paper, and it's got a list of things related to driving that we have to let them do for a certain amount of time basically over the last 6 months or so, 9 months. I don't know how long it's been. Seems like forever. So one of the things on the list is freeway driving, basically. And so I don't want to say cheated, but we stretched the definition a little bit and let him do some driving on the boring ass drive to Amarillo and back in the summer, so which counts for some of it. Weirdly, there's actually we have to do like 5 hours, and you're not supposed to do more than an hour at a time. So we got an hour going out to Amarillo. We got an hour coming back. We still got to find 3 more hours. So basically, Sunday morning, he and I went and drove around on the freeways in the metropolitan Dallas area. Ooh, boy, that was exciting. I mean, honestly, what I told him was, driving on a freeway is just like well, okay. So to be fair, one of the other categories is multi-lane roadway driving, which where we live, everything's a multi-lane roadway. So
right.
And I mean, we get out to the major street out two streets down from our house. You get out to the major street, it's a 6-lane road with a speed limit of 55. That's multi-lane driving. That's city driving for us. So I mean, freeway driving is not really that different. The deal is you're moving faster, so you have less time to react. And
right.
We're talking about driving like on Central Expressway in Dallas. There's a lot of idiots out there. People are assholes. They drive like lunatics. Even on Sunday morning. I mean, we didn't have any like real close calls or anything, but he got to see other people driving on these major freeways and get to experience that. The scary thing is we have to do it like 3 or 4 more times in the next basically month. So, I'm going to do my best to do it on Sunday morning as much as possible because traffic's lighter. But so, given that excitement during the week or this weekend, I chose not to have any other excitement.
That's enough excitement, though, for sure.
So again, boring.
No, not at all. Community service.
Takes me. Yeah, I'm trying to protect the community from my kids.
That's not what I meant.
No, but it's accurate.
Alrighty, Les.
Well, let's see. For me, I started watching the complete series of The Thin Man. That was on, I want to say it's on HBO Max. And I got through 4 of them in one sitting, 4 out of the 5.
Yowie.
Dang.
And I couldn't help but laugh. This is a classic series of movies. Each is self-contained, but this could not be redone. There's just no way. To me, there is not enough there's no comic team that could pull this off. And the two main characters are wickedly funny. Quick Barbs, as anyone that has seen some of the movies will attest. The Quick Barbs comes fast and furious, so it's much better than the movie. And you get some big names. Like in the fourth movie, you had Donna Reed and Barry Nelson. Also in these movies, you've had Jimmy Stewart and
Shemp Howard.
I'm sorry?
Shemp Howard.
Yeah. And Cesar Romero.
Mm-hmm.
Things like that. So
was Vincent Price in one of them, or am I thinking of a different comedy movie?
I think that's a different one.
Okay, I'll have to figure out which one that was.
But if you folks get a chance, it's well worth the time to sit back and know that what you're watching was done decades ago, but to me it still holds up. Also this week was the National Cinema Day, and I took the advantage to go see a movie. I told my wife I was going to take her to see a classic movie from Stephen McQueen. And she looked at me suspiciously and said, "You're going to go see The Blob, aren't you?" I said, "Yes, I am." So she's figured me out after 40-some years. But seeing it again, and seeing it just like I did when it first came out and I was 7 years old, seeing it from the front row, because that's all they had for seating, was still fun. Really good stuff. Classic and a little bit hokey in parts, but that's okay. You can live through it. Good stuff. Another movie I would highly recommend. So that was about it for me.
Good
Wow.
choices, I think.
Yeah.
Hmm. Mikey, what do you think about Laura? Was that it? I was trying to figure out.
Maybe that was it. I think I saw part of it on TV a few months ago, and that it probably was Laura.
Yeah, from 44.
Yeah.
Wasn't that redone? Like recalled Rebecca or something like that. It seems to me that was. This is one of those that was done.
I think they were two different movies, but I'm not going to hang my hat on that either.
Laura was remade in 2005 as a Bollywood film.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, but that's not what I was. That's not what I was thinking, though.
It's been redone on TV a couple of times too over the years.
Because this is the one about the cop that was investigating a murder and became obsessed with her, right?
Yeah.
It seems like that was the plot of another film too, but I can't figure it out right now. It's not a big deal, but
Sounds like Hitchcock's Vertigo.
No, I would remember. It seems to me it involved. Oh God, I'm blanking on his name right now. I can see him. Have Gun with Travel.
No, I'm singing the song, but I can't remember.
Richard Boone.
Richard Boone.
Yes. I'm pulling him up right now. Because this is bugging me now.
By the way, just for grins and giggles, no, you keep looking. I'm actually talking to the listening audience at this point.
Okay.
I think it was last week. After we were done recording, this is just the kind of crazy weirdness we do. After we were done recording, we spent like 15 minutes doing this, just bouncing along this weird rabbit trail of movies and actors and stuff, just for no reason other than the fact that we were having fun doing it.
Yeah.
It's just the kind of crazy shit we do from time to time, and we happened to be doing it at like 11:30 last Tuesday night. It was, we just went on for a while doing it until we kind of all realized it was late, and we're like, oh shit.
Okay, guys.
Mm-hmm.
The film's called Vicky.
Vicky, okay.
Supermodel Vicky Lynn, whose face is seen everywhere, is murdered, and ace homicide cop Eddie Cornell cuts his vacation short to take this case personally.
Cool.
In flashback, we see how Vicky rose from ambitious waitress to big black headlines courtesy of a clever publicity man, Steve Christopher. Now, Cornell seems determined to get Christopher convicted in what begins to seem like a bizarre personal vendetta.
There you go. See, I was also stalling for you to have time to look that up.
Appreciate it. So
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Sure.
Sounds good.
Well, doesn't that sound similar to the other film?
Kind of does, Laura.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of does.
I remember seeing bits and pieces of this one. Wow, Aaron Spelling was in this film.
Ooh.
As in the big producer of all those TV shows.
No.
He started as an actor, I believe.
Yep. So, alrighty.
Cool.
Thank you guys for your help.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's always bugged me because it's like I've heard those, and it's like those seem too similar. Now, granted, a lot of plots are pretty much the same. I grant you that, but
Sure, but yeah.
This one was a little closer than close, you know. So, all right, I guess it's my turn. Are you through, Les? I didn't mean to.
I'm done. Thanks.
Okay, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to hijack it there.
No.
For me, not a whole lot. I will say that I did watch the final two films that we'll be discussing for October. Got those out of the way. Got my notes, and I am ready for Horror Month.
Yeah, I actually did start number 3.
Okay.
I haven't gotten very far yet. It's going to be interesting. The discussions are going to be interesting for this month.
When do we do the black hole again?
Again? We have to do that again?
Why not? Okay, so yeah, the third one, yeah. If it's the one I'm thinking is third, kind of an interesting cast, wouldn't you say?
Yeah,
I'll say that much.
Very much so.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to, like I said, I'm not very far into it. I'm looking forward to seeing if any of them do anything in this movie. Don't spoil nothing.
No, I wasn't going to. But yeah, it's a very interesting cast. Even I would say as much as even a couple of old Connery Bond era actors in this one.
Mm-hmm.
Which one I knew right off the bat. The other one I was like, okay, I know that name. I know that name.
I did that too. I was like, man, that name. Why do I know that name?
Why does that?
And then
why
he
does
pops up, and I'm like, oh yeah, him. This is gonna be good.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, for me, it was her. I was like, her name sounds familiar. Why? And I started looking into it. Like, oh, okay, yeah, all right, awesome, cool. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, yeah, it should be fun. I'll say this much: it ends on a kind of a very interesting note. It kind of dips a little bit, in my opinion, and then it kind of comes back up right to the end. So,
Cool.
So when y'all get to that point, you're going, oh my god, it gets better. It gets better. It gets better. Yeah, I'm ready to discuss these films. I've got my notes here. So, and we'll have of course, as always, we'll have all horror special episode, with special guests who will be announced down the road. We'll do that here in the next few weeks. That'll be cool.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So those are always fun.
Mm-hmm.
And the film that we'll be discussing this year, I think will be a very interesting discussion. I like the film very well. So it's going to be fun to talk about this one. So, all right. Before we get into this week's discussion, I do want to point out, I don't know if we mentioned it earlier, but we do have a Discord that everybody's welcome to join. We post a lot of news items, stuff for discussion, do a lot of memes and jokes. Well, we do some fun activities. We're planning to do a movie night in the not too distant future. We've done other stuff. Yeah, well, we've done a New Year's Eve kind of get-togethers on Discord. We'll probably do another one this year. We haven't even got that far because hell, it's September, so it's too early to start talking about that kind of stuff. But that kind of thing. So if you really like listening to us and want to hang out with us, by all means, come join us. Sign up for Discord is free. The app is available in the App Store for free. We do have an invite on our website, www.thefellowshipofthegeeks.net. Just click on that, join us, and you're in. And I hope you have a good time hanging out with us.
Yep. We amuse ourselves pretty well. So.
Mm-hmm.
We do. We think we're funny.
We do. We think we're freaking hilarious. But ultimately, you get to be the judge.
Uh-huh. We're gonna have some fun with this one. This one's gonna be. I think we're gonna have a great time with this episode. We are taking time out to celebrate the 90th birthday of one of them. He's a legend. He's a superstar. He's an incredible composer. And I'm talking about John Williams. He turned 90 back in February. And he's still going, although I think he announced that Indy 5 maybe his last as a composer, but I may be mistaken on that. He may be retiring from composing after that film, but I seem to remember reading something about that. So, if so, then what a hell of a career. I mean, I'd need to go back and look, but how many of the top 10 highest grossing films has music composed by him? At least half.
And that might not be a coincidence.
Yeah. So let's talk a little John Williams.
I know there's probably some people out there going, who?
Oh, I don't think so.
If you don't know his name, you know his work without even knowing his name. I don't know. I'd have to put him up there, which is saying very high things about him, with Danny Elfson as far as memorable music goes. Actually, I would put him ahead of Danny, because I think in terms of memorabilia, more people remember Williams' work just because it's classic.
I mean, when your music is being played by a high school band.
Yes. Well, and who doesn't know the Darth Vader March or the Imperial March? Who doesn't know that? Or who doesn't know the Superman theme song? It's kind of like, you may not ever have watched the movies, but you know them.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and if you're not into geeky movies like that, not only did he do other movies, and boy howdy will we talk about them. He wrote the Olympic theme.
Yeah.
He wrote the friggin' music for the Olympics, people. That's who
Yeah.
we're talking about.
Yeah. Harry Potter. I mean, golly. Almost every major franchise, he's had a part in it. And I noticed that he did the music for Obi that just came out, but I didn't see if he did The Mandalorian or not. I was going to look that up before show. And
He did not.
he didn't? Okay.
I don't remember who did. But it's funny that the timing of this, as we're recording this, is over the weekend, Labor Day weekend. He did a series of concerts at the Hollywood Bowl, and he was given permission to premiere some music from Indy 5, which won't come out till I think next year. I posted a video on Discord. And
It's just so new, it's not even on his IMDb yet.
Right.
I don't think I've heard it.
it's called Helena's Theme.
Huh.
Yeah, it was. He got permission to play it, so those that are in the audience heard brand new music that, other than video clips, we're not going to hear for another year.
Yeah. Dang.
I mean, how cool is that?
I know, getting ready for this, if you go on YouTube, they have a lot of his pieces put together, that he's put on shows and that kind of thing. And now we're talking things, like I said, Superman and Star Wars and Harry Potter, and he just blends them together so beautifully that they just literally go one right into another, and there's no awkward, oh, they changed the song kind of thing. I mean, he's a master. I mean, it's so smooth. So if you're looking for good, background, because it is orchestra, if you're looking for, good background while you're studying or whatever, this is perfect. And every once in a while, you'll go, I know that one. What is that one?
Right. Yeah. See, for someone like me, it would be too distracting.
Yeah.
It would pull me out of what I'm doing. Yeah. I would be like, I would just be, because I became a fan of orchestral music a long, long time ago. So yeah, it would be very distracting.
It's so soothing. Especially when it's something catchy that you know.
Right, unless it's not soothing, unless it's intended to be pumping you up.
Right.
Which, I mean, again, this guy has written music for movies forever. He knows how to play with your emotions with the music.
Oh God, yes.
See, and I don't think people put a lot of credit into what music does. In a movie, it lets you know that you're about to be scared. It lets you know something good's about to happen. It lets you know something magical's about to happen. I mean, it sets the tone for the whole movie. And I can't even guarantee that if you took the soundtrack, just the background music out of a movie, if you would get the same emotions and output from your watchers as you would with it in there. Sometimes it tells you how you're supposed to feel, you know?
Mm-hmm.
When Darth Vader walks into a room with that music playing, it automatically set the tone that this is one bad motherfucker.
Yeah, this is the bad guy of the piece.
This is who to watch, you
If the
know?
big black plastic costume wasn't enough to tell you this,
Yeah.
Oh, well, you know, you had a
And
bunch
that's
of
the deal.
plastic costumes right there.
it accentuates. The deal is the music accentuates the big black plastic costume thing,
Yeah.
and it makes it feel real, and it makes it feel a lot more tangible, and it gives you hints as to how you're supposed to feel because it's playing with your emotions. It's
Yeah.
making you feel those things.
And telling you who this character is, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He's strong like the music is. He's strong and, you know.
And dark
Yeah.
and mysterious and yeah.
Well, even before he composed the Imperial March in the first Star Wars film, when he first appeared, for the first time, and you had that little bit of a music cue there, you go, oh shit, this is the bad guy. We know this.
Yeah.
We know this now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just even that little bit. No.
Mm-hmm.
So they have I think one of the most important jobs of a movie that really goes overlooked.
Yep.
You know, or at least in my opinion, you know, the music, the composer did his job properly when you can hear the music away from watching the film or the TV show, and you automatically visualize those scenes.
Yeah.
That's when you know that they've done their job.
Well, not only visualize, but remember how you felt watching that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It can put you back in that place.
Yes. And Williams' music always does that.
You know, in therapy, they tell you to be very, very, very careful with music. I mean, this is some of the warnings they give along with drugs, so it's pretty powerful because you can hear a song and it will take you back to a time and place.
Right.
Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad.
A time and place
you know.
you might not want to go back to. Right.
Yep. It's pretty much like the soundtrack to your life, you know.
Literally.
Yep. But then when a lot of times movies are critiqued, it's, oh, the acting, they never say anything about the music. You know, we do at award shows, but, you know.
But, right, they do lots of awards at award shows.
Yeah.
Many of which are meaningless other than to the people who are being named.
Yeah. And I think that your musical composers and your makeup artists are two of the most uncredited people that without these two people, your movie would suck. No matter how good you can act or how pretty your actor was, it's gonna suck, you know.
It very well could.
Yep.
In the listing for soundtrack albums and motion picture scores, composed and conducted by John Williams, in the 70s, tell me if you've heard of these movies. Fiddler on the Roof,
Yeah.
Images, Tom Sawyer, Cinderella Liberty, Earthquake, The Towering Inferno, The Eiger Sanction, Jaws, The Missouri Breaks, Star Wars, Close Encounters, The Fury, Jaws 2, Superman the Movie, Dracula, and 1941. And those are the ones just done from 71 to 79.
Wow.
Well, I would add a couple of others in there. He did the Cowboys, one of John Wayne's last films. What was
The Poseidon Adventure.
Poseidon Adventure. Midway. If you've ever seen the movie Midway, you hear the music, you go, that's John Williams.
And one of my favorite musical pieces, Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Close Encounters, yeah.
Ooh, seem to recall
Which
you
is
talking about
the
that not long
main
ago.
part of the music, or the movie.
I mean, yeah, there's composers out there that, for that 10-year span, they go, you know what, that's a nice career.
Mm-hmm.
And that's only 10 years out of his career.
And his earlier career at that.
Yeah, because in the 60s he did How to Steal a Million, Not With My Wife You Don't, Penelope, Fitzwillie, Valley of the Dolls, and probably one of my favorites, Goodbye Mr. Chips.
Hmm.
And that was in 69. Along with the Reavers, a good Western.
Mm-hmm.
He did the music for Heidi.
Yes.
And if you're not familiar, Heidi is one of the most famous movies in NFL history.
Oh, yeah. The Heidi game. Yes.
The Heidi game. This is the movie that they interrupted the end of a very close, very hotly contested, very highly watched game in 1968 to show on TV because, it was a TV movie. John Williams did the music. Totally random side note there, but
yeah,
still, it's a fun little
That's pretty cool.
thing, yeah.
What a boner for NBC that was.
Mm-hmm.
I bet.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. The entire country was basically pissed at NBC for that.
Oh, yeah.
It was.
You had the husbands going, what the fuck? And the wife going, oh, just calm down and watch the movie.
Right, it's a nice movie.
Sure you do.
Who cares about that? Watch this.
Another bit of trivia. His first professional score for the film Daddy-O has actually been parodied on Mystery Science Theater 3000.
The movie?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Have to track that down.
Yeah, it's funny because it's a nice jazz score. Right? The music great, of course, but they start watching the credits, all that, and then his name comes up, although they credit him as Johnny Williams. And Servo goes, John Williams, before he heard Stravinsky.
Dang.
And what year was that?
1958.
5'8"?
5'8".
That's when Daddy-O came out, yeah.
Yeah, Daddy-O.
58.
Yeah. As Les is looking it up.
He did some.
Well, I was just looking at others. Home Alone,
Yes,
Hook,
he did some episodes.
JFK.
He did some episodes of Lost in Space back in the 60s.
Ooh.
Yeah. He did Checkmate in 1960, which was the music for the CBS TV show. I remember that.
Cool.
And of course, you jump to the 80s. You have the rest of the Star Wars films. You have the Indiana Jones films.
E.T.
E.T., which, man, I cannot hear that theme and not visualize flying against the moon.
Elliot. That's what I think of when
Was
I
it
think.
something you ate? What was
Yeah,
it?
it sounds-
Elliot.
Something in her throat, I think. I don't know.
I think so.
Probably an alien of some sort.
Oh, no, not again.
In 87, he did Empire of the Sun.
Yes.
He did quite a few Spielberg movies over the years.
And who starred in that? Christian Bale. As a kid.
Huh.
Born on the 4th of July.
In 1990, he did Always, which I thought was a great movie.
Mm-hmm.
Home Alone. Hook. Again, we're
Spielberg, yeah.
Schindler's List, Jurassic Park, Spielberg.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Far and Away. That was a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, who were some of the conductors, directors, or for music directors that you recall before him and after him?
Danny Elfman.
Well, are you
Somebody's
saying
got
Danny
one.
Elfman or
Dan-
Oingo
Elfman.
Boingo?
Yeah.
Danny Elfman.
Elfman. Yeah.
Elfman, yeah.
But are you considering him part of Oingo Boingo?
Well, I think he was doing Star Wars when Elfman was doing Oingo Boingo. Yeah.
Well, Oingo Boingo did a movie. I think we've discussed that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which we need to get Liz to watch.
We do.
Oh,
I think
I
she will
didn't
hate us
mention
again
it
for that
early show, but I did watch that one you guys told me to watch. God, what that freaky movie! Totally freaky movie.
That has to be Forbidden Zone then.
It was like little blue guys were fighting humans, I guess.
Little
What the
blue
hell
guys.
was the name of that
The
movie?
Blue
Oh,
Ladies?
was this the one Les was talking about? The
Yeah, that
Fantastic
was like
Planet?
Fantastic Planet, yes. I didn't know that it would be subtitled. That was interesting. But it was kind of like, what the fuck is going on? There was several times it was kind of like, wait, what? Hey, put this shit down and watch this, because what? Yeah, I liked it. It was that kind of mind trippy, wow kind of thing. And I didn't expect that ending at all.
Not where I thought that was going, but okay.
Yeah.
I like trippy shit like that, though. So it was kind of like once you... the beginning's kind of weird, but once you kind of figured out what was going on, it was kind of like, okay, I can follow this.
I still need to track that one down.
It is on...
Yeah, I don't have all of the streaming services like you.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember if I watched that on Prime, though, or HBO. I thought you had Prime.
I do have Prime, but I don't think it's on there.
Yeah, I hate that after you watch something, it takes it off your watch list. HBO needs to fix that.
I don't think it's going to be a problem for much longer. Not that I want to
Yeah.
start that rant again, but
Really.
It is on HBO. And just, even the thumbnail they use for that movie, it's kind of like, what? What the hell is that?
Back to your question, Les. Jerry
Composers.
Goldsmith.
Yes.
Jerry Goldsmith.
Just curious if you recall any conductors or such that were before him or after him. Well, obviously, we've covered after. But do you remember any famous ones that were before him?
I don't know about before, because I mean,
Was it, what's his name? I can't remember his first name, but Zimmer?
Hans,
Zimmer's
Hans Zimmer.
Zimmer's after.
that's after.
Yeah, that would be after.
He's another good one.
Yep.
Movie
How-
composers, no.
How about, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I can't think of a lot of movie music composers before him, no.
How about Bernard Herrmann?
Yeah.
Look at the list he had.
Bunch of stuff.
And his main thing was he worked with Alfred Hitchcock. He did 4 Hitchcock movies. He did Psycho, North by Northwest, The Man Who Knew Too Much, and Vertigo. And he also did things like Citizen Kane, Anna and the King of Siam, from the one with, it was not The King and I, but it was I can't recall. Sorry. The Day the Earth Stood Still, The Ghost of Mrs. Muir, Cape Fear, Fahrenheit 451, and Taxi Driver. I mean, there's
a few good movies.
He was one of the greats.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know if you heard me, but he's a contemporary of John Williams, just Jerry Goldsmith.
Yes, that's true.
And just as an impressive resume as John Williams.
I was trying to find who did the music for Ben-Hur, because that was Miklos Rosa was the music writer for Ben-Hur.
And recently, they've asked Trent Reznor. He's composed quite a few, sometimes it's Nine Inch Nails music, but a lot of the times it's not. It's just, music that he's made for whatever they're doing. So that's kind of cool.
Uh-huh.
I think he's gotten more into that here lately than band work. And, I'm going to throw it out there. Zack Snyder.
Oh, God.
He's a composer?
Well, he knows how to put music. I mean, like I said, Sucker Punch is just one big music video, and he did it really well, So he pulled it all together and came up with the music, I guess. So I will give him credit for that. Usually his soundtracks are amazing. Can't say the same for his movies.
I'm still waiting for the butt.
Yeah.
Right. Well, there, you just missed it.
Yeah. I said it under my breath,
I think that was the punchline, but I could be. My opinion may differ from Liz's.
Yeah, I mean, really though, I would buy the soundtracks to his movies. And the new Batman movie. I don't know who did that, but that was put together pretty well too. Who did that?
Well, since we're doing some names, let me go ahead and talk a little bit more Goldsmith.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Lilies of the Field, the theme to Dr. Kildare, the theme to The Man from U.N.C.L.E., 7 Days in May, In Harm's Way, Von Ryan's Express. We're still in the 60s right now.
Mm-hmm.
Our Man Flint and In Like Flint. We watched those.
We have watched those.
Planet of the Apes, Bandolero, which I love that Western. That's with Jimmy Stewart and Dean Martin and Raquel Welch.
Mm-hmm.
That's just 60s. Let me get in the 70s here a little bit. Tora, 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 Rio Lobo, Culpeper Cattle Company, the theme to the Waltons, the theme to Barnaby Jones, Papillon, the theme to Police Story. Keep on going. Logan's Run, we saw that. The Omen, Mark Arthur, Capricorn 1. Magic, which I would love. I want to see that one. I think that's the one with Anthony Hopkins as the ventriloquist. Alien, Star Trek the Motion Picture. Then we get into the 80s, Outland, Raggedy Man, Poltergeist, Psycho 2. I love the score of Psycho 2. Gremlins, Supergirl, Runaway, Baby, Secret of Lost Legend, the Rambo films, Explorers, Inner Space, Leviathan, 90s, we're talking Total Recall, Gremlins 2, Basic Instinct, Mr. Baseball, Rudy, The Shadow, which I want to see that again just to hear the music. First Night, the theme to Star Trek Voyager, Executive Decision, Ghost in the Darkness, Air Force One, The Mummy, the Brendan Fraser. We come back to Brendan Fraser again.
Mm-hmm.
The horrible, the Haunting remake. 13th Warrior, which was good.
Mm-hmm.
2000s, we have Hollow Man, Along Came a Spider, Sum of All Fears, and that's it. Because unfortunately he passed away. I believe it was 2005, 2004. That's not a bad list, and that's just me scanning real quick.
Mm. Yeah, I would give him credit for doing as many westerns as he did, because I can't imagine movie for westerns or music for westerns is easy to do. I don't know. It just seems to me like it would be a difficult job.
I definitely like the theme to Bandolero. It sounds like Goldsmith. If you're familiar with his music, you hear that, you go, yeah, that kind of sounds like Goldsmith. there's just things, because he adds different types of stuff. And I'm thinking about Star Trek: The Motion Picture. Some of the stuff he used in that, other than traditional musical instruments. He did that with Psycho 2. He actually added synthesizers, but to a limited degree, and it just, he was able to work it in where it melded together. It worked. But I love the music Psycho 2. I can sit here and listen to that for several hours, because it's just beautiful music, and it's mainly piano. So.
Yep.
So, but back to John Williams. But it's kind of cool to point that out, that hey, that's, y'all mentioned it earlier. That's something that's kind of overlooked in films.
Mm-hmm.
We seem to focus on the director and the actors and the script, but there's so much other things. The music helps you sell the scenes. Because if the acting's not there, that scene that's supposed to make you tear up a little bit, the music should do it.
Yeah.
And will do it in most cases.
Right. That is certainly the plan.
Yes.
And with a good composer, you'll get that a lot.
So it's been an incredible ride with him. And the musical gene has been passed down, because his son Joseph is a singer, musician, composer too.
There you go.
He was a member of Toto on 2 or 3 different occasions. I think he's back with them as of this recording.
Well,
but
that's
he's
cool.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite John Williams theme? Can you pick one?
Oh, that's hard.
Yeah. I'll give you a little bit to think about. I'll say what I'll say. Going to the theater and hearing that opening note for Star Wars, I get chills. But when Superman Returns came out and they used the John Williams theme, I literally cried. Because I was like, because I thought I would never hear that music in a theater again. And here it was, and it was just as beautiful as it was back in 1978. Because that is, I love that theme. And in the late great Richard Donner, who did a commentary, I don't remember if it was on for the first film or the second film. It had to be the first film, but he was talking about the score, and he was talking about John Williams doing it, and it's like he made it happen. He made the music say the name Superman without actually singing it. It was it was the music that did it. And I was like, I never thought about it, but yeah, it does. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's you almost get the sense of flying
Yes.
with that theme.
Yeah.
A couple of the movies or the first notes that make me smile are for the Harry Potter movies
Yeah.
and Home Alone. Just the first few notes of that. I'm with you, Thomas. I enjoy hearing the Superman theme so much. It's kind of blinding because I do tear up too. But
It's
Close Encounters, Jaws, all of those movies make you know exactly what you're going to be doing.
exactly. It just in the theme, it tells you this is what to expect.
Yeah.
The Superman theme is very heroic. It's very adventurous. Yeah, there is the feeling of flight and all that. Well, and then you go to Raiders. That's very kind of it's heroic on a different level, and it's very adventurous. But there's also kind of a nobility to it. Or maybe that's just me.
No, I agree.
Basically that gives you that's Indy. This is the guy you're going to be watching for the next 2 hours. I mean, he nails it almost all the time. I can't think of one where he goes, well, wow, that was a miss.
Yeah.
I'm going to just phone this one in. Yeah.
So here's an interesting tidbit that I just noticed.
Okay.
Early on in his career, he played piano. He was a pianist.
Okay.
He played sessions. Was a session musician for a while, playing on film scores by some of the folks by other composers, basically. And one of the names on this list is Jerry Goldsmith, by the way.
Oh wow. Okay.
Another one is Henry Mancini.
Ooh.
Yes, he played the Peter Gunn theme. John Williams.
Okay. Yeah, I totally forgot about Mancini. Mancini would be just a little bit before Williams, right? Or would he be considered a contemporary?
I think he got started a little earlier, but not a ton.
But
They're
not much.
pretty contemporary.
Yeah.
Mancini?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he was contemporary by far. He's got a list half a mile long himself.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. Yes. And just an impressive list, too.
Yes.
So, Mike, Liz.
Oh, favorite Williams thing. I was trying to dial it out. Yeah.
You thought I was going to forget. Okay.
like I
or
said,
just, or maybe let's look at it a different way. Maybe not favorite, but when you
notable
hear
other
the
than one of the obvious ones.
when you hear the name, what piece of music pops in your head? If it does, how about that?
I'd have to say Superman for sure, and that little tidbit from Close Encounters.
Okay.
Do 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 do.
You sound like Simon there.
Yeah, it kind of did.
Anyway, this is why I'm not a musician.
Well, you sound like the phone from the Flint movies. The hotline to the president. Do-do-do-do-do-do.
I think there might be a connection there.
Yeah, could be.
As far as just like a piece of music that you hear and it makes you think of, I am hard pressed not to say the Olympic theme.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that, with the Olymp, it's hard drumming up excitement for the Olympics is actually, I think, kind of hard because it only happens every 4 years and it's a bunch of sporting events, be it summer or winter, that people just don't pay much attention to other than during the Olympics. So it takes some effort to get people excited about it.
Yeah.
So I think what Williams did with that kind of does the job. You hear that, and it helps that he did this in like the early 80s.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been around for a generation
forever.
At this point.
Yeah.
It's, by now, it's the music of the Olympics, despite the fact that the Olympics had been going on for 80 years before John Williams got around to it. But that's, it's so iconic in that regard. It's hard not to pay attention to it.
Yeah.
And it does tend to get you a little excited about what's coming. Even though it's sometimes really hard to get excited about gymnastics and figure skating. These are not inherently exciting things.
Yeah. Curling.
There you go. That's a even better example than mine. How else are you going to get excited about curling? You got to have some John Williams music to do it.
Okay. Any final thoughts before we take a quick break and come back with geek news for you? Other than thank you, John Williams.
Big time. Happy birthday. Congrats on hanging around for 90 years. Dang.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of his stuff is collected on YouTube, so if you haven't heard it or think you haven't heard it, or just want to hear it again.
Right.
I'm sure a lot of it's on Spotify, too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. More than likely you've heard more of his stuff than you think you have.
Yeah.
Because holy crap, this movie list is long.
Yeah. And speaking of Spotify, something that's very neat. I hadn't seen if they did it for the other movies, but I know for The Last Jedi, if you look down at the bottom where you've got the little counter or whatever you want to say that shows you how far you are into the song, the little thing, it's actually a lightsaber, and it shows the lightsaber in the blade, and you have the white blue. It's Anakin's saber with the blue blade. They replaced it with that.
Aw.
That is cool that they did that.
It is.
I don't know if they did that for any other ones, but I did notice that for Last Jedi.
Neat.
That's cool.
So, on that note, we are going to take a quick break and be back with news. And we're back. It's time for Geek News for You. This segment is where we bring a couple of news items to the table for discussion. And this week it is Mikey and myself that will be bringing the items. Mikey, take it away.
Okie dokie. I am honestly a little surprised that it hadn't come up before now. But that's okay. I'm bringing it up now because how could we not talk about Artemis 1 at this point?
Right.
It seems like we need to. Because okay. Yes, they've had two. They had to scrap the launch twice, which I'm sure is annoying people at some point. I mean, I kind of wish they would think about it, but it's a really friggin' dangerous thing to do, and so you have to be very, very careful, obviously.
Right.
You do not want leaks. We've learned the hard way. This is how shit blows up. So, I mean, it's been a long time since we've lost a space vehicle with actual people on it. So we're trying really hard not to do that again. And this is kind of an important thing because it's something that the U.S. hasn't done in a long time at this point. I mean, we haven't had a manned launch actually owned and operated by NASA in a while. So they need to get it right. And if that means putting it off and figuring out what's wrong, then that's what they need to do. I mean, if nothing else, NASA has always been full of really good problem solvers because that's the way they started. That was the whole deal. The problem they posed themselves was, how do we put a man on the moon? And they did it, and now they're going to do it again, and we just kind of have to be patient.
I think part of it is what we've seen with SpaceX and all that, but there's a difference between, hey, this is going up to space to a certain distance and then come back down, than to actually fly to the moon. There's a little bit of a difference there. Am I wrong?
And there's also a big difference between SpaceX, which has multi-billionaire money behind it,
right,
and NASA, which has government money behind it.
Right.
I mean, the stakes are higher. I mean, SpaceX had a lot of failures before they had a success.
Right.
And they had they made damn sure they had a lot of successes before they actually put people on them.
Right.
Yeah.
NASA's going to do it the same way. The problem is it's going to take a little longer because they don't have Elon Musk money behind them.
Well, it's just
yeah, I don't think anybody wanted that really.
It's just easy to forget that kind of stuff, and that's the problem.
Right, and it's also real easy to be excited about it, and that's great. We should be excited about it. It's friggin' exciting.
Yeah.
I mean, but we also have to realize that it took 10 years to do it last time.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, we have that head start, but that was also 60 years ago. Been a little while. I mean, they retired the shuttle program. God, was that 20 years ago now? I don't remember exactly, but it's been a while, and they've done stuff. It's not like they haven't been doing anything, but
right,
they haven't been doing anything on this scale in years, if not decades. So cut them some slack. I am seeing another launch date in a couple of weeks, so just hang tight. It's gonna work. They just gotta get their stuff. They want it. It needs to be as close to perfect as they can get it.
Yeah.
When the Atlantis landed on July 21st, 2011, that was when it was officially
Oh,
retired.
okay. Was that okay? It was 10 years ago then. I thought I was thinking
But
it was
still,
longer than
that's
that. But that's, yeah, 10 years. They have, I mean, like I said, they've put stuff up in space, but mostly they've relied on other space programs to do it.
yeah.
Mhm.
So,
Which, my point, don't you think it's time for all these space programs to get together and kind of share technology? And can you imagine if NASA knew how SpaceX built their shuttle? Or if NASA knew how Blue Horizon did theirs, or, and then take these two other models and mix it with yours and go, maybe if we did it this way. But right now there's too many egos involved, and that sucks because the only ones hurting is us. Because if you would just stop, think of the advancements we could be making if we knew more. But no, everybody's too worried about have to be first, have to have this, have to have the government seal, or have to, screw that. Let's get up there. Let's figure out what the hell's up there, We're last in the planets in space. We've, I think if we get the heads to come together, it would be amazing. And we've seen that with the telescope they just released. What was that? How many countries came together and built that? It was a joint effort.
yeah. I don't want to cheapen this, but I think there's a big difference between buying a camera together and buying a car together. I mean, would you, let's as an example, would you be willing to split the cost of a car like 6 ways with some people?
If I knew that we were all going to benefit from it, and that I'm bettering myself, maybe I need that car to get to work, or carpool, or yes, short answer, I would.
Okay, then you're weird because most people wouldn't.
Especially if it was helping each other.
Right, and most people don't give a damn about that either.
Without each other,
Most people don't give a shit about helping each other. Billionaires even more so.
Yeah.
So
I see where you're coming from. There would be problems down the road of whose turn
owns
it is, or right. And see, and that's the thing. Nobody should own it. It's
And
not
good luck
a.
with that.
You live in a capitalist nation.
I mean, who are they doing it for?
Themselves. Their profit.
And that's why we have failed launch dates. Put your priorities right. I'm not saying they didn't. I'm just saying, I think we could be badass if we all came together and said, look, this is how we did it. Maybe right now you wouldn't have this problem if you did it this way. But see, that would take somebody going, I was wrong, and you're right. This is better, and they won't do that.
Right.
Too many egos.
Right.
We talked about this before. Some damn egos.
Uh-huh. Because people are inherently assholes.
People
And-
suck.
Right. And that's the problem. And
Yep.
and the problem is when money's involved, they suck even more.
Yep.
And launching people to the moon is not cheap.
No, it's not.
And so we're just going to have to do it the hard way a little bit.
Yeah. And it's sad because, like I said, it could be a little easier.
It could, but not the way the world works.
Yeah. And people aren't willing to give SpaceX a chance because who's attached to it. If people honestly think Elon Musk had anything to do with designing those plans or building those rockets, you are sadly mistaken.
He
funded it.
He had one very important thing to do with it. He paid those people.
He paid it.
Yep.
Yep.
And
But
the deal is,
other
if
than
he
that-
launches, if he decided it was a race with NASA to get to the moon and beat NASA, who's to say he wouldn't decide that he owns the moon?
You can't.
Really?
I mean,
Are you sure?
well,
He's
I
got the
thought
only
we-
car that goes there.
I thought we kind of took care of all of that when we first started launching into space.
That was political.
You
This-
know, you
this
also
is
have China and
financial.
Russia and
Those are
well, mainly-
countries, not billionaires.
right?
That's different.
But I don't think Elon Musk would go up against Russia.
I don't know.
It's kind of space is free. I mean, it's not owned by nobody owns the Earth. I mean, they like to think they do,
Yeah.
but it's not a my planet, your planet kind of thing. It's everyone's.
You're doing a great job of channeling Gene Roddenberry, but otherwise, this is you're preaching to the choir, and
Yeah,
and the people
I
the
may be
people who
thinking-
control the resources don't care what you think.
Mm-mm. They don't.
Okay, I'm gonna stop ranting now.
Yeah.
Anyway, my deal
Oh.
was, this is exciting. Be
It is.
patient. It will happen. They will get it right. It will happen. It will be fun. It will be great. It will be cool. We will learn a lot. Cool things will come from it.
Fingers crossed.
Mm.
Well,
Third time's the charm.
and hydrogen leaks fixed.
Yeah. And I agree. That's nothing to play around with. You know.
That's just explosive.
Yeah.
Well, what was it that wasn't it a leak that took out
It was. The
Columbia?
teacher. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, one of the seals had gone bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm all for the precaution, especially something like that. It's not like a car.
and,
you know.
and so that
It's a
and
really
honestly
complicated
that needs to be pointed out when people are going, well, why is it taking so long? It's like we don't want another Columbia.
Yep.
Right.
We don't
One-
want a bunch of
one-
kids
one
to
was-
watch
one
this
was-
thing explode again.
One was too many.
Right.
Mhm.
We want to put people on these large explosions that are directed.
Well, the first time you do something, it's a mistake. You know. Second time, not so much.
Yeah. Well,
You
the
should've-
deal is you get the mistakes out of the way before you put people on top of them things. That's
Mhm.
the deal.
yeah,
that's the
which
plan
is what they're
anyway.
doing. Yep.
Right.
So they don't make that mistake a second
Right.
time.
We don't. Yeah. If it's going to blow up, let's blow it up now and figure out what made it blow up and then fix it.
And if I was one of those astronauts, I would be very happy for them delaying my mission.
Mm,
So they don't need them defending them, you know.
yep.
They'll wait.
Yep.
All righty. Any thoughts from you, Les?
I want to say that we have been doing stuff in cooperation with other nations, and we have exceeded the thought process of what we thought we would do, what we would accomplish. So I want to say that that we've learned to work with others. We don't have to wail, cry, take the ball and go home. I'm happy with what we've done in the past. I want to see the unit go to space as soon as possible. But yeah, I also too would say hold your horses.
Yeah.
Let's make sure. And you don't need to go to the rich and say, okay, we need your money. Let's just bide our time. The first time we went to the moon, we were in a race. And at that time, it wasn't just we got here first. It was to show that by being here, we were making our adversaries fear. Make sure that they understood that they couldn't just go where they want to go and treat the rest of us like simpletons. To me, it was growing up in that time period. It was very political, and it proved to be extremely political just a few years before, with the advent of war. So I'm just hoping that they do take their time, cross the T's, dot the I's, and move on. That's the only thing we can hope for right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. I guess it's time for my news item.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how much discussion goes on with this one.
Oh boy.
Okay. Back on August 30th, there was an auction from Rock Island Auction Company, and one particular item garnered a little notice. It was the last known remaining prop. This was the DL-44 blaster pistol that Harrison Ford used in A New Hope. It was the last one that survived, and it was verified that this was the actual prop. They were expecting this to go from anywhere from $300,000 to $500,000. It went for $1.057 million.
Damn. I could see that though, with how big the fandom is.
And to be exact, it was $1,057,500.
It's a lot of money.
That is. Wow.
And by comparison, a blaster prop that was used in Jedi went for $550,000. So this definitely went above anything they were expecting.
I bet.
But it was verified that this is, because apparently there is a video. If you click on the link that we will have in the news item, there's a link in the news article from the Rock Island Auction Company, where they go over, they discuss the prop and all of that. There was apparently 3 that were made, and the one that which is the one that survived, was previously used by Frank Sinatra in a film, and because they still had the serial number and all that, and they can kind of go through the history of all this, because they were talking about, they put it all together to make it look futuristic, look spacey and all that, and then they didn't know if there was going to be any other movies, so they basically disassembled it, and they did some of the others. But the gun survived, so they basically were a piece. Someone was commissioned to put it all back together, and then was put up for auction. So some of the pieces may not be original, but the gun is, because like I said, there was a serial number and everything.
Wow. Have you ever seen God, what is the name of that show? His name's Rick.
This Old House.
No.
No, the Pawn one. Pawn Stars?
Pawn Stars, yes. I think it was London that he went over, and the guy had like the biggest Star Wars collection ever.
Mm.
And I think I'm wanting to say he had one of those. Because
Okay.
Rick was like, "Can I buy this?" And he was like, "No, no."
There-
I was going to show you this Yoda over here.
There was a show that Mark Hamill was involved with. It happened to deal with this type of stuff. And he met with one guy, and I had the original, the used prop of Luke's saber from Jedi. He pulled it out and showed it to him.
Oh, wow.
I believe it was Luke's saber. It was either Luke's saber or it was Anakin's saber. And and Luke Mark's like, and he verified that was the actual prop, because he talked about how heavy it was. He's like, I have not seen this since the filming. 'Cause there's a video of it on YouTube. I'll have to look it up, and we might put it in the show notes. But yeah, I remember seeing that going, now that's cool.
It is. And you think as the original owner or user of it, you're kind of like, hey, that's mine. Why do you have this? That's mine.
Yeah, but
It's
some actors are not able to walk away with some props. Some have sneaked some stuff off set.
that would be like having a regular job and claiming the computer you've used at that regular job for 3 years is yours. It's not really yours.
True.
It's a tool.
Yeah,
See,
but
you're a collector. You have a hard time seeing that perspective.
Yeah.
That's all. No big deal.
I'm like, that's my computer.
Right.
But some actors do. Some actors, kind of walk off with certain things.
Yeah.
Especially if it's something like a long-running series or something like that. So it's the final day. Okay, well, I was, this, I had this as a prop for several years. So like Mike said, that's not right, but they'll do it anyway. And kind of don't blame them. I understand it, but it's still not right.
Right. Unless you've got permission to do so, it's
Yeah.
not the best.
Well, and sometimes
practice.
they give that as a thanks for
Sure.
doing your job,
Sure.
When Supernatural, I had to bring this up. When Supernatural wrapped, there was a total of 9 cars that was used over that 17 years. Some of them they smashed, some of them were just, something happened to them or whatever. But they fully restored 2 of them and gave one to Jensen and the other one to Jared. So they both have a baby, which I thought was so cool because, baby was in almost every episode of Supernatural too. So
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Liz.
Where would you put that relic? I'm not talking about the cars.
oh, I was about to say my driveway.
No.
No, you wouldn't.
Would you put it in a safe deposit box or something to make sure no one gets near it?
I know, like the guy on Pawn Stars, he had like this whole room done to where some of it was behind glass and some of it wasn't. And the first thing I said was, he doesn't have kids. But he displayed, I mean, some of it was worth thousands and it's just sitting there on a shelf, I would display it in its box, but I would display it.
I understand what you're saying, Les, but man, you spend that kind of money, you want to show it off.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You also want to protect it.
True.
Oh, I'm sure that thing is insured out the ass now, As soon as they said sold, it was like, Hello, Geico.
That's why you set up the room to have poison darts that kind of fly out if you hit the wrong tile.
Right.
You know?
Buy the stone from Indiana. Tie it all together.
I would want to put it on display myself, but there are too many crooks out there.
Yeah.
Too many crooks in here.
Well, I wasn't going to say anything.
Oh, I kid. Or do I?
That piece belongs in a museum.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about that.
It was an Indiana Jones reference, Liz. Get with the program.
Okay, I was kind of like, oh.
Get with the program. It's late, I know. God, nobody got the reference. It was the beginning of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Totally. Yes, I got the reference.
Well, thank you, Mike. Thank you for having my back. Appreciate it.
Liz gets it now.
Oh, yeah. When I had to write it in hieroglyphics and all that, you know.
You had to explain the joke to me.
Carve it into stone tablets and deliver it to her in the Ark of the Covenant.
There you go. Or deliver it in baby. Maybe then she'll understand.
That's how she gets it, honestly.
Yes. Yeah.
Not no cheap substitute neither. The real thing.
That's right. Okay, let's go ahead and wrap this up because I think we're starting to lose it now.
Maybe a little.
Any special shout-outs or mentions this week?
Nope, don't think so.
Okay, we'll move on to our regular shout-outs. First off, I want to thank Pop Goes the Culture Podcast Network for allowing us to be part of a great group of fellow podcasts. Definitely check them out. There will be a link in our show notes. We also want you to check out the fine men and women who make up Podern Family, who've been so kind enough as to spread the word of the fellowship by retweeting our links. The way you can check them out is to go to Twitter and do a search, #PodernFamily, all one word. Just scroll through whatever catches your eye, click on that link, and please download that episode. And we hope you have a great time listening to them. Thank you guys as always. I want to thank Manny the Martyr for supplying music to our podcast. In our show notes, there will be a link where you can check out their music. And finally, you, dear listener, thank you for downloading and listening to today's episode. We appreciate your support, and we value your feedback. Any questions, comments, suggestions, complaints, observations, what have you, please send them our way. Our email address is email@thefellowshipofthegeeks.net. Or you can go to the website and go to the About Us page. There's a contact form you can fill out there. If you join our Discord, we do have a channel specifically designed for feedback where you can post your observations or whatever. On social media, we're on Facebook, The Fellowship of the Geeks. We are now on Instagram, @Fellowship Geeks. Follow us there. And @Fellowship Geeks is also our Twitter handle. So you can follow us there as well. If you'd like to follow our personal Twitter accounts, Mike can be found @MikeyGeek. Liz can be found @LN_geek. Les may or may not be found @FakeLesWebster. And I can be found @TomTCGeek. And from wherever you download our episodes, if you'd be so kind as to rate and review our show, it would be greatly appreciated. Anything else before we say goodbye?
Just thanks, everybody.
Yep. Thanks, everybody.
Come see us on Discord.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for listening, everybody. We appreciate your support as always. And until next time, geek on, my friends.
We thank you for listening to the show. Comments, suggestions, and questions can be sent to email@thefellowshipofthegeeks.net. You can follow us on Facebook at The Fellowship of the Geeks and on Twitter at Fellowship Geeks. Until next time,